Welcome back to the program. Mountain Door, a little while ago was considered a hot spot. Well, I've been told it's now a cold spot for crime, but still a hot spot for community activity. We're actually going to be speaking with Richard Jeremiah. He is the managing director of Mountain Door Youth Sport and Cultural Club. So, good morning, sir.
Morning to you, sir.
Let's talk about this cold spot.
Before I begin with this cold spot, I want to say good morning to you, sir. Good morning to Trinidad and Tobago. And it's a pleasure being here this morning to bring the joy and the warmth of Mountain Door and to tell Trinidad and Tobago that we're no longer a hot spot. We consider a cold spot, thanks to the hard work of the community members and people like my good self who want to see it that way, because Mountain Door is a lovely place to live. If I have a choice to live anywhere in Trinidad and Tobago, I would still tell them I want to live at Mountain Door. So that is why I'm so proud of my community of Mountain Door.
So what is some of the work that the community is doing to actually keep it so well blessed, so enjoyable?
Well, our African Village and Fashion Show is one of the events. The organization which is called Mountain Door Youth Sports and Cultural Club, we have a lot of programs that we partner with a lot of NGOs, even the churches within the community, to put programs on like what we're trying to achieve here. Well, I shouldn't say try, we will achieve it on Sunday. Sunday, the 31st of July, starting at 1 p.m., Mountain Door come alive. We have a lot of young entrepreneurs, people who do local craft, people who do wines and anything local will be displayed on that day. And you was asking the question, what we do to keep it a cold spot. As I was telling you, we partner with a lot of other organizations. One of the things that we do, we have a lot of young people who are first offenders. Then sending them to do hard time, they send them by us to do community time, where we counsel them, and we also do mediation. So if they have problem with even members of their community, we get involved. So that's something.
I want you to elaborate on that a little more, because I'm wondering how important is it to have first-time offenders come to something that may be a little more progressive, because people say prison, jail is also school, but the question is what you're learning.
Well, yes, but no, I wouldn't take someone who maybe get hold for a little bit for a piece of cannabis, and you take him and you send him with hardened criminal. You're not really helping that lad. More or less, I feel if you send him in there, we are more or less breathing criminals. And as a community of Mountain Door, we see it fit to do that, because we say we was once there, so we know what it's like. So we're trying to keep them away from going in there. So we went and we find out about the program, and right now we have the program, and so far we getting thumbs up for it, successful, because anybody who come to Mountain Door to do community time, they don't go back in front of the magistrate. The next time they go back in front of the magistrate just tell them, we had a good report write-up from Mr. Jeremiah and his team, and we wanted to stay on the safe side of the law.
From the time you say lads, I say, okay, this fella in the system. Remember some of the people who I've met from YTC, dealing with people like that. But I'm wondering though, what are some of those elements that you can take and transplant? Because there's so many other communities who are not cold, they're actually hot still. So what are some of the messages that you'd want to give some of these communities?
Partner with all positive group and NGO, even churches, partner with them, because right now, even my organization, which is Mountain Door Youth Sports and Cultural Club, we partner with a lot of police youth club also. At one time, we was at Mover, we was at Sour, we was at Barataria. So we doing things like that to show the youths, even in our community, that when you partner with other groups, you help to bring the crime rate down. So one of the things that you could do is partner with other organization and NGO. So when you're doing that, you get value for money, and it's a win-win.
Sunday, starting at 1, you say?
Starting at 1
What
p.m.
are we looking forward to on the day itself?
We say we're highlighting the gems of Mountain Door. We have Marcia Charles, dance theater company. Marcia Charles, born and raised in Mountain Door. We have fashion by Mr. Marlon George, aka Darwin, Dow Creation. Darwin is one of the young person in the community who we try to model a lot of the young men after, because he started from humble beginning. And this morning, he was even supposed to be here with me this morning, but he get caught up somewhere else. So just morning to Darwin. And he will be doing fashion. Darwin does tailor for some of the biggest entertainers in Trinidad and Tobago. And by extension, recently he went abroad to do a fashion week in New York. So he's taken fashion from Trinidad to the world. And he resides in Mongdo. We have Miss Kojo. She do jewelry and a number of local craft. And she's from the community. And things like that is what we want to highlight. We want to show the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We have positive people from Mongdo, and not only time when the media that's coming to Mongdo is when they hear the news and it's on the negative side. We script in our own script, and we telling you this is what we highlighting for Trinidad and Tobago, to show Trinidad and Tobago that Mongdo, it's a model community. It's a community that anybody could feel free coming into Mongdo. Because before when we was a hotspot and things like that, and people was free to come to Mongdo, and I work with a lot of other groups, and I will tell them, okay, come, let me have a meeting at Mongdo, and they will come and they will be skeptical. When they come in, they say, wow, I didn't know this place was so nice, and Mr. Jeremiah. I say, well, because, yes, people might say a few things, and when the problem started, it wasn't bona fide Mongdorians who did that, you know. It's people who squatted in our community, see a nice, serene, blessed place, and they just come and spoil it. But then when they're painting, they're not going to point out, he didn't do it, they just paint Mongdo with a broad brush. So I'm here this morning, I'm just the face of the organizing committee. They want to come on the media. We have a hard-working team behind this African Village and Fashion Show. I want to say morning to each one of the hard-working team. Vina, Alana, we even partnered with the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs. We have a young lady by the name of Shannon who worked with us. She worked out at the Malik Youth Facility, and she partnered with us because Mongdo is part of her catchment area. So she come and she worked with us and to get the event. I think now if we want to thank Auntie Myrtle, a hard worker. Auntie Myrtle also do a ministry in the prison. So it linked. That is the reason why we have the maximum security prison ban. It's the inmates. And we give them a name, well, Auntie Myrtle give them a name, the Musical Vibration. We also want to thank the prisoners, not the prisoners, but the officers. They have an officer ban also too. And sadly enough that we couldn't have them playing on that day. So we also want to thank the officers, because to get the inmates, you have to have the officers, and they work with the community quite closely. So we want to big up the officers this morning too, from the maximum prison and prison in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, the show MC by myself and Mr. Marlon George. So you see, he do fashion, MC.
I wish you was here today, because I was asking some people about who should I check with regard to getting, and they told me that he's the person too.
Well, let me tell you something. When you wear Dow, you're on the cutting edge, you know. You understand? So he is my brother from another mother. So when I speak about him, I'll speak about him with passion. And we have Sweet Jean and her karaoke crew will be passing through. We have Little Jean, Mongdo. We have Corey Burke, well-known singer. Mongdo. We have Orlando Octave. Well, we adopt him into Mongdo, and he ain't leaving at all. He loved the community. We have a lot of other surprise guests. So but
don't tell them about any more surprise guests. People will need to come. 1 o'clock it starts. 1 o'clock it starts. And I'm sure it goes till whenever.
Till when all the entertainment finish. You know, so we want to thank some people for making it possible here. We want to thank Mr. David Abdullah. Well, you know, he's from the MSJ. He just come to the community and work with us closely on some of the events that we have come. So I want to thank him openly this morning. We want to thank the Ministry of Community Development, Culture and the Arts for kicking off things, because they call the organizing committee very early and tell them they have a check here for them, and we was able to kick that off.
So you're better than a lot of people. But on that note, though, we need to say thank you so much, Richard Jeremiah.
No problem, and thanks for the visit.
Mongdo Youth Sport and Cultural Club doing good work and rebranding, or setting the narrative as it's supposed to be.
Yes.
So have a blessed one, and all the best for the event on Sunday, please God.
Thanks for having us here this morning. Thank you.
You will not believe who we have next for you, but you need to stay tuned to find out. Good Morning Trinidad and Tobago continues after this.